Our main task, as I see it, in addition to learning how to speak other people's language, is to stay on task and to stay on target. One person once said to stay on track. So today, in addition to telling you a little bit about NAFI and stuff and a little bit of discussing, I'd like to give you some strategies to use as parents, both with professionals as well as strategies you might use with each other in organizing. Because I don't think there's going to be too many professionals that will organize you in your own community as well as you can organize yourself in your own community. And coming off of a weekend like this can be a wonderful experience, but it needs to translate into, so now what am I going to do now that I go home? Because I'm assuming that you all live in different places in the state, right? Some of you never met each other before. And you might get together again next year. But between now and next year, what can you do in your own community? Even if there's only 2 or 3 or 4 of you. So we'll do a little bit of that today, okay? As you have questions, feel free to ask. And the most important thing, though, is to adapt these ideas for your situation with your doctors, with your professionals, with your parents, and with your local governments. Adapt them, don't just adopt them so that it'll work, because it's going to work with your particular personality style. It's going to work with your particular needs, your particular child. So none of these strategies are foolproof, but they are all adaptable. Now remember, as parents, you're not only going to be trying to organize other parents, even if you're only going to find one other parent in your community who's new to you this year, who's got a visually impaired child, you could change what goes on for that family by just networking with them, maybe even just one time. My wife and I met a couple of years ago. They just had a baby. The baby's visually impaired. I said something innocuous like, have you taken the baby to an eye specialist? She said, no. She said, no, we just go to our pediatrician. And I said, you might want to think about that. Well, they did. They found out they could do all kinds of stuff. She wrote me a note, big, long thank you note. You were so helpful to me, and I thought, I just asked sort of a question any of us would ask, you know. And yet she said, that took us in a whole new direction, and she went on and on and on and on. You know how good it was the first time you felt you met somebody who was also shared this visual impaired thing? You can be that to other parents too. You can also be that to the professionals, to let them know what they need to do for us and what we can do for them. And so learning their language can be very helpful in a number of scores.
What they found is these folks did very well in the job site given adequate supports, such as a job coach on the site or support through the employers.
These are the comments from the parents who attended the first family retreat weekend. The speakers were wonderful. It was a lot of hard work, but worth it. Power and knowledge is in numbers. We had fun. We know this was good for our family. We'll attend next year as well. The best part was the interaction with other families who know what we go through and feel what we do. I liked meeting and talking to new friends and their families, and comparing lifestyles of the visually impaired.